about him, like you say, and suddenly it was like, North American teams play Zilean. It's like, bang, Zilean, and then completely owned, and everyone's like, okay, better ban Zilean again. Yep. Sort of back in there. But yeah, and obviously being an all-American matchup, they are obviously well aware of that situation. They didn't want to let Curse have Zilean in there. So, Kog'Maw as a first pick. What do you go by that?
I mean, I think it's the first time we've seen Kog'Maw. Oh, well, so it's either AD carry for comp or it's AP Kog'Maw strategy for Curse. And they're probably looking at the picks and bans and saying, okay, you know, based on what's available to us and what they can steal away, we're confident playing an AP Kog'Maw strategy. And this might be AP Kog'Maw, or it could just be the very obvious range carry that we saw him. You know, very, very common from someone like Candy Panda from SK Gaming. We might see him come out later today in that role. Or it might just be that Curse Cop likes to play this Kog'Maw, and that's certainly a possibility as well.
And an interesting thing here, we're going to get the Rain Man playing Aurelia on top. Now, the last time we saw him in a big tournament was Moscow 5. And he didn't do so well against Shyvana.
He didn't do that well with her before. However, Aurelia is 5-0 in the tournament so far. Yeah. I don't believe she's been banned
Voyboy
yet,
was stunning on Aurelia.
Yeah. Well,
you guys wouldn't have seen it, but it was the Dignitas versus AAA game. I just stood behind them on stage, and I think he went 16-3-4 or something like that.
That's brutal.
Absolutely dominated that game.
Brutal.
Yeah.
Yeah, and here they have a nice little meatball here with Nunu and Shyvana in there. They're going to like that one. I mean, they're just going to like that. That's going to be pretty good for them. But, you know, Nunu Kog'Maw is still a lane that could be available here. And Nunu Kog'Maw is so much damage output, too. The guy scales off of attack speed, uses that Bio Arcane Barrage to just deal, you know, percentage out damage off of his basic attacks. And the more you attack, the more damage you're going to deal. Sounds decent. So that's actually one of the things I really like about this first lineup is you can kind of go either way with it. You actually still don't know if that's an AD champion or the mage, and now they're actually going to look at Morgana right here. So they might have actually baited solo mid into like, hey, this is an AP Cog strategy. Pick an aggressive jungler like Maokai who's going to gank a whole lot. You know, pick a big bursty mage. Not just kidding, AD carry. We got a Morgana.
Yeah, so Morgana possibly going to be locked in. Now, bearing in mind, you know, is this going to be a Shyvana? Is it going to be Shyvana top with the new guy?
That's possible.
I mean, we don't know what he plays.
I think his top were,
I cover the EPS,
Shaco.
but I don't recall of seeing him.
So actually, we profiled him really quickly. It was between... Okay, well, it looks like it is going to be top Shyvana because Dr. Moon is in there. But his top were like Shaco and Gangplank, and I'm trying to remember the other two common ones. They've escaped me now, but those are the two most common with Shaco and GP. But those seem to be just kind of chilling off to the sides for now. They're not going to go for that, but they do have that Jungle Mundo, and we did see that played a lot by the North American team at Counterlogic Gaming yesterday. CLG only ever lost one game in the entire you know, group, so it's going to work out for them. And here we have Curse picking that up as well. And they've got a lot of AOE and a lot of meat walls. They've got 3 big tanky melee guys, all of them AOE around them. All of them have at least some form of crowd control. They've got Morgana as well. They've got Blood Boil on that Kog'Maw, and of course in between Black Shield and Blood Boil and at least Flash, that Kog'Maw's probably not going to die. And he's going to put out a lot of damage.
But Reginald on Gragas.
I like that. I do like
that.
That
is a good pick. He is a strong Gragas player. And you know, we haven't seen him play Gragas. He's not been allowed to play Gragas for a while. He physically gets locked out of it. Actually, I saw him practicing Cassiopeia, which is probably why the first ban. Curse probably saw it as well. It's like, ban Cassiopeia. Yeah,
it's the kind of thing. Original is an amazing Cassiopeia player, and Nijaki doesn't actually play Cassiopeia that much. So they're just going to say, well, you know, this is a ban aimed at you that we know you play her a lot. We're going to leave kind of all of our options open. Now, it's the kind of thing where you probably, if you're such a good mage player like Nijaki is, you want to learn those really good mages as well, because then maybe solo mid is going to have to ban Cassiopeia against you. But she kind of runs the show. But both her and Rise can sort of run the show as far as mages go. They're really consistent. They don't have any terrible matchups, and they scale really well throughout the game. Those are the kind of mages that you kind of let yourself first pick, because you're still going to be okay throughout the champion select process.
So I'm going to give a quick shout out as well for something that I know has been going on. You Twitter users out there, obviously we've got Twitter accounts as well, but we're trying to get #IEM going. There's a bit of a trend. It nearly trended yesterday, so I believe I can see Carmack waiting in the wings. I could see something in his hand, and I'm guessing that was what he was aiming at. But yeah, #IEM, get yourselves on Twitter, talk about it. Everybody get following #IEM, have a look at it. You get all the gossip going. There is literally, we nearly hit 200,000. In fact, we passed 200,000, I think, across the streams yesterday, which is incredible for
we hit
day 1 in Group A.
Yeah.
And 150K, just for LoL alone.
Just for LoL.
Yeah, just for the mainstream, which is incredible for day 1, because we guys know that a lot of you are at work. You've, you know, abused firewall rules. You're breaking the rules of work. You're streaming at work, or you're just, you know, staying up throughout the night. We really appreciate it. Don't worry, guys. We love them.
After the show, actually, yesterday, I was chilling with a couple of the rioters, and a group of about 5 people came up to me and were like, "Hey, da-da-da, it was nice to meet you. You know, can we get NASCAR cards?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure, you know, let me get them for you, whatever, da-da-da. Hey, how long are you guys here?" "Oh, we had school today. Like, we came by like an hour and a half ago." And it was like, "Oh, wow, thanks for showing up." But, guys, the game is loaded. We're going to be getting underway with that, so stay tuned. Going to bring you the very first game, Curse for Solo Mid. Be right back.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. So, TSM, Team Solo Mid, forever second place. Second place at Gamescom, second place at Kiev. Can they grab first place? That's what they want. That's what they want. It is the big one as well. Curse, though, are in their way for the first game of the night. And yes, over here we can see that Reginald is going to be sitting up for the middle. I don't think we're actually going to see too much invade. Bear in mind that it is 2 US teams. We generally do see a bit of an invade, but I think they're going to be a little bit cautious, especially Curse, because they're not too sure how these new guys are going to go. Let's give you a quick rundown of the teams. For Curse, it is going to be Elements on Nunu. He's going to be playing support down the bottom with Cop on Cogmore. Up the top lane, it will be Shivana. That is going to be for Fote. I guess we could say Fote, maybe drop the P. I don't know whether we're going silent on that one or not. He is the stand-in player, so we're going to keep our eye on him. We got Nijaki in the middle and Crumbs, of course, in the jungle. Remember, Nijaki couldn't make it to Kiev either. He was held up in the customs. For Team Solo Mid, we got Chaox and X Special down the bottom on Sivir and Sona. Pretty strong lane there. Rainman at the top against his arch nemesis is Shyvana, so he's going to be on Aurelia.
That's true.
We're going to keep our eye on that one, especially with Wicked in the crowd as well. You know, one of the most known Aurelia players who pretty much abused him after that tournament and said, you know what, you completely played it wrong. Reginald in the middle on Gragas, of course, and the odd one in the jungle on Maokai. And you know what, they could have interrupted Maokai's start, but you know, he's taken the race already.
Yeah, they chose to play a little more defensively here. I think they were afraid of the level 1 ability here. Actually, I really don't know why Chris would have been afraid of them at level 1. They've got, you know, Nunu and Morgana, 2 very, very good level 1 champions. But, well, whatever, they're just going to let themselves farm up. In the mid lane, we've got Morgana fighting off Gragas, and looks like it's going to be really not much damage trades. They're going to probably farm it up for a while. The top lane, though, might be all kinds of interesting. The Shyvana going to come out, and I think that was actually one of his other frequently played champions. And actually, Rayman opening up aggressively there, getting a little bit of damage, but looks like between cloth armor and some potions that Shyvana should be okay.
Yeah, and so we're seeing a pink ward straight away from Sona here, actually. So starting off with that pink ward, you can see he's warded up on the river already as well, or over the blue side. What do you think of opening up with pink wards? I mean, I can kind of understand opening up with 2 visions wards, but going with the pink straight away?
I think it's there so that you can destroy enemy wards, especially with a jungler like Maokai. Let's see, we're looking at Solo Mid, and they do have Maokai. Getting rid of enemy wards to let yourself gank, especially with the lanes kind of unsafe like Kog'Maw and Nunu. Yeah, they have slows and haste, but they don't have any heals or shields. They have no way of removing damage from themselves. So in that kind of situation, yeah, you know, get some aggressive ganks in and kind of shut down the Kog'Maw. I think that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, so just keeping an eye on the junglers at the moment. They're just going about their first route. So Crumbs at the moment on that Mundo. We did mention how quick he can jungle, and he does seem to be just actually slightly behind the odd one at the moment in that jungle path.
19 to 16 so far, so yeah, slightly up there in minion counts. And there we go, Maokai going for the red buff now. That should give him level 4. We're going to see if he can turn that into a gank. He's going to farm it up, grab a Philosopher's Stone, and just recall back. But yeah, they're just kind of playing the farming game, these junglers right now. We'll see what else they do with that.
Yeah, so just keeping an eye on the top as well. See how it goes between these two, especially the Rayman. He's going to be pressure on. First game of the day against Shyvana. It's probably like his nightmare. He's probably been waking up in the middle of the night. Oh, Shyvana. But, you can see a little bit of poke down the bottom. Let's have a quick look down there. You can see that Cop did actually get caught up a little bit there. He's taking a bit of damage from Chaox. I'm guessing a Boomerang Blade has gone across and clips his backside once again. He's just going to keep away, and it's going to be tricky for them early on because there's not really a great deal of sustain. They're having to eat those health pots. You can see they're chugging through them already. Meanwhile, Chaox and especially, they do have a bit more sustainability sitting in that lane. Let's have a look towards Reginald in the middle. You can see CS-wise very even between the lanes all across the board. You can see it in the bottom line here. You can see Shyvana Aurelia dead on even. Morgana Gragas pretty much even. Down the bottom, Cogmore versus Sivir pretty much even. So very close start.
absolutely. You're going to see that the minions are just pretty much equalizing out. You can see 5.7k on both sides, no kills or turrets on either sides, and the minions basically equalizing out. We have seen all these matchups have been pretty fair so far. And we're going to see if anyone's going to start making a move. We've seen Shyvana is basically pushing up on Aurelia the entire time up here, just kind of last hitting under the turret with E if she has to. But yeah, the Rain Match kind of sitting back and farming under the turret, which is probably the safest place for an Aurelia in the first place. And you're also kind of seeing the same thing with this Morgana and Gragas. Just the barrels come out, and pretty easy to kill off minions that way.
Yeah, so we got Maokai sneaking in around the top, but we also have a Clairvoyance going down. That's actually from the enemy. They will manage to catch him out because they can see him in that bush. And that's going to be the old one going in, gets a knockback. Well, he's going to have to flash out of there. He does have Mundo with him, but he's not going to show his hand too early. In fact, he's going to go around the Troy bush. And you know what? He's thinking, you're over there, I'm going to try and invade. But unfortunately, the golems are not up.
No, but not. He can go down for wraiths maybe. He won't get spotted by any of these minions yet, so he'll be safe for now. But now Shyvana doesn't know if Maokai recalled on the brush or not, so he has to be a little bit afraid. If he walks forward, he could always get jumped on by that twisted advance and doesn't want to risk that first blood. Gragas playing a little bit more aggressively in mid. Nigel's going to be recalling right now. That actually gets broken by a barrel there, but now Reginald is out of mana, and Mundo is very nearby, so they could go for some good pressure. Nijak is out of mana as well, so it's going to be hard for him to land a Dark Binding. Cleaver for Mundo misses. They're going to move in on Reginald now. He's going to body slam away. Dark Binding does hit, actually, so they might force Reginald to leave off of that. And he's going to actually say, no thanks, I'm level 6. I'll be alright for now. Nijak is going to push one more time, probably finish his minion off, and then recall for reals. He's got really no mana left now.
Yeah, so Morgana going back, or whether Reginald's going to let him there. Trust me, that's not us burping. It is Gragas. If you just hear those noises, and you can see, oh, actually, Crumb's keeping him honest in the middle there, making sure he doesn't go back. Let's have a look down the bottom. We can see actually Mundo's picked up some Ninja Tabby, so he went back a little bit earlier. They were all just popping back to buy. So double Doran's rings for Morgana. No shock there. Did go for a 2-3 wards.
Wow, really does not want to get jumped on by this Maokai. And you got to figure, I mean, Gragas can burst down that black shield, and then Maokai is going to do a lot of pain to you afterwards. He's going to get a free CC. Gragas ult can go off. I kind of see why you would do that. And that said, maybe he's also kind of buying wards so that Dr. Mundo doesn't have to, and then Mundo can get his Warmogs or Aegis or whatever item he's going to go for a lot sooner. So there's a couple of options here for why he buys so many wards. You can see safely warding up from the mid, and that's going to be just fine for him.
Yeah, so we're just keeping my eye. You can see the blue buff possibly going to be picked up. Just keep seeing where Reginald's going to go. He's throwing that ward. Actually, it wasn't his ward, that was Morgana's ward that happened to pop out there, so he didn't actually throw a ward out. Reginald did pick up 2 wards. You can see Shyvana's gone back. He's picked up 2 Doran's Blades, actually, for that top lane, so going to be an aggressive top lane Shyvana there. So going for the attacks. Reginald is just going to dash his way through here. He's not just standing there for a laugh. He's waiting for his cooldown timers to reset. And they've just pinged, they've got hold of Aurelia, and they said, yep, you've warded down in the river. Meanwhile, blue will be given across to Ninjaki.
Yep, so they're going to trade those out. It looks like solo mids blue is going to be up a little bit sooner there. Just a couple of interesting notes, by the way. So this is, I believe, the third game that Janna has not been picked so far. She's actually never been banned, has only been picked. Went 8-5 in the tournament so far, but this is only the third game she's not been picked yet. Instead, Sona and Nuni being grabbed. The other point is Kop's actually running lifesteal quintessences on his Kog'Maw, which is something he actually does pretty often when he's not playing with a healer support. So because they grabbed Nuni, he's going lifesteal quints, and it's going to keep him sustained a little bit.
Just keep him on the Rayman at the top there, seeing how much he can do to Perfote. Perfote has actually been hit by a big wave of minions, so he purposely backed away a little bit there. So, as it stands, very even in the lanes. You can see actually that Rayman does have that slight advantage in CS at the moment. Oh, and that's an ulti pop coming out there on towards Rayman. I think that was a little bit too early. Rayman does manage to use his ulti, and he's going to turn around, try to burst down. But it's a lot of sustain between both of these. You can see lifesteal, but I think Rayman came out kind of on top of that one.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like he's winning the lane right now. He did pop his ult as well for some lifesteal, but ultimately he's winning by 12 minions or so. It's 67 to 56, so... yeah, now there's a 12 minion mark. Reginald going to burst up on Nijaki, and you're going to see him kind of farm minions right now, using the spell whip to get his health back up. Move speed quints on him, by the way, so get himself in range for dark bindings and ults and all that. See how that pans out for him.
Yeah, so apologies if people are flicking around camera. I am just getting my head around the QWER on a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 because, as you can see, my mouse is going a little bit slower than normal, so I'm just going to be panning around.
Oh, he's going to go in actually for the ult onto Reginald in mid lane right now, and the Ignite goes off as well. A lot of damage off on Reginald. Nijaki going to keep chasing down. The flashes go over both sides, and Nijaki picking up first blood there. Nice job. Reginald tried to pop that ult to get him off there. Nijaki preemptively had already used Black Shield to keep him from getting pushed back. It did pick up that kill. Exceptional play there. Blue buff refresh, 400 gold, thank you very much. And Curse off to a lead now, although despite all that, equal on gold. And that's either the gold per 10 stack from the jungle Maokai or out CSing from top lane. But despite the first blood, teams are pretty much on equal footing.
Yeah, and it's looking like Mundo wants a go at this bottom lane because he's just cleared a ward out. Will he continue straight down? I think he might do. And you can see that Chaos next special, they realize is there. They've clairvoyanced actually on the
Dragon. Yeah, they don't necessarily know Mundo's there.
Well, they saw him clear the ward, so they're going to surely have an assumption that he's going to be nearby, which is why you can see that Chaos is immediately backing right away from that one. Doesn't want to fall for it. Not really tower diveable either, and he's just going to teleport back there. So he will return, but Reginald first blood now from Jackie. That's immediately given that needlessly large rod.
Yeah, that's pretty excellent there. He's got a lot of AP on himself now. And yeah, we're going to see how he can manifest that throughout this game. And they are going to ping towards Dragon. So Curse looks like after that earlier ping ward, and they force bot lane to recall. It's going to give them some nice control here. Nijaki going to put down a new ward up there. And they're going to get this one pretty much for free. Looks like 17:02 the respawn on Dragon. And now Curse pulling themselves a real lead in this game. They're up 800, 700 gold right now.
Yeah, so Reginald's return. He's only going to go triple Doran's rings, which generally means you've been struggling. But you can see he is only 10 CS behind, but it's that one kill. That one kill's a difference. Gives you a big advantage, especially in a single lane between each other. Just giving an eye around the lanes. Aurelia was just dashing forward a little bit there, continuing to harass actually on Shyvana. Doing a pretty good job of keeping him in control. Hasn't gone wandering yet, and still ahead in the CS. We're around about 15 CS ahead, so that's working out nicely for them. Haven't seen really too much ganking from the junglers yet though.
Yeah, they've not been able to get a whole lot of pressure done. I think one thing that's required is an early Oracle is to get rid of these wards, because otherwise it requires too much sort of luck on dropping a pink ward in the right spot to clear out these wards. So they've been pretty much very safe. When Muno did come down to the bottom lane, you saw they kind of camped in the brush, hid very far away. KX's Spidey Sense said, there's probably a dude here, and just kind of walked away right then. So they've been doing a very good job of keeping themselves alive in these situations.
So just keep an eye on where his Mundo is going. He has an Oracles on him now, Mundo, so he's going to be trying to clear out those wards that TSM will have placed, although there doesn't actually appear to be too many down there. Ping goes down, so expecting to see that Maokai will be heading towards the middle river. They caught a glimpse of Nijaki. Nijaki tries to go for Gragas, and now that was a great dart binding straight through the middle. Has popped his ulti, but they're going to get covered in. Will Nijaki better have taken down? Reginald's been taken down very low. Will manage to get the barrel out. You can see the one little sapling comes through. Does manage to get the stun and the barrel finish as well. Very nicely played there. And well, Mundo was close by, but just not close enough. He was going looking for the wards and just happened to have gone south at the wrong time.
Oh yeah, an excellent job up there. You know, the early Black Shield did block the initial Twisted Advance route, but it wasn't enough. The damage output was so very massive. And the great thing was Reginald ulted Morgana back into the fight, knowing it would still stun him. You know, he ulted Morgana and brought her back in there. You know, the stun popped, but it didn't matter. He knew they had enough damage to get the kill, and now they're jumping up on a Chaos and a special. Of course, Sivir had ulted a little bit earlier just to clear that out and get themselves out of the way. It did work out for him. You know, losing an ult for not dying, pretty much okay with that.
Meanwhile, at the top, you can see that it's actually starting to slip further away from Shyvana here. Rayman with 21 CS advantage, and it's having to start to fight on that turret. So obviously realizing the difference, in Rayman trying to put pressure on this new stand-in player for Curse. And I'm interested to see how the communication is, because I don't believe his English is that well either. He's obviously a German player. He's managed to come across, and all credit to him for really stepping up to the plate, because it's a big stage behind us.
Oh, that's true, and the crowd is getting bigger by the minute as well. The one good thing about this is top lane gets to kind of sit there and farm pretty well, as long as you have the mechanical skill and map awareness to ward and watch for the jungle ganks. You can kind of sit there and just focus on your gameplay for a while, and then by late game, you can at the very least rely on pings or champion names. Looks like actually again aggression in the mid lane. Nijaki jumping in on Reginald. He tries to flash out, doesn't manage to get all the way out there. Let's see if Nijaki can get any more damage output. Lands the... Oh, wow, he just barely gets out of the dark binding range with the body slam. Nice job there by Reginald making his way out there. Gonna kind of group back up with the odd one. Mundo actually lying in wait, has that early Oracle still, and that's going to really hurt the map control for these guys.
Yeah, he's really completely cleared out. If we go to F1, you can see that that is going to be the view of Team Solo Mid. Meanwhile, the Team Solo Mid just, they can't see anything. They've got absolutely no vision whatsoever. Every ward they place down is being cleared out by Mundo at the moment. And meanwhile, the Odd One has not been able to pick up Oracles. He's not really been any success in ganks other than that one in the middle, but then again, there's only been 2 in the whole game, so
that's true.
That's not exactly too much. Let's have a look down the bottom. Cogmore at the moment is managing to stand his ground quite well against Sivir, which does not bode well for towards end game. You can see he's only just a 5 CS behind, so he's continuing to harass, and actually it has been a very aggressive range. So the fact that they've got no sustain doesn't matter now, because that Blood Boil is built up to full level.
It's true. Yeah, did he actually max Blood Boil, or no? He's actually, yeah, you're right. He's maxing Blood Boil up to 4 right now. Ice Blast up to 3. So pretty soon that's going to get really, really scary. And I do think that Kog'Maw's got a bit of a better late game than Sivir as on an individual damage basis, and especially when he can melt through champions like Maokai and Gragas. We're going to be in range to take damage pretty often, so I think it's going to work out pretty well. But you've also got to sort of choose, you know, do I want to Blood Boil Dr. Mundo or Shyvana instead? Because both those do want to land auto attacks a fair amount here. And meanwhile, you've got a really nice synergy here where you've got Sivir. The ult's going to help everyone, you know, including this Aurelia, who will like to land these auto attacks and will like that movement speed. So you've got kind of a better sort of supporty game from Solo Mid, where 2 of them have just team-wide auras. You never know, that might make the difference in some of these fights.
So just keep an eye on Mundo as he goes around that jungle. Mundo's been made a pretty popular recurrence in this tournament. It was left for a while, but the American team's definitely loving the Mundo, and he's going to go straight face to face with the Odd One, both with Oracles on, and neither of them really want to lose that fight. So they're just like, yeah, we're both going to walk away from this diplomatically.
Yeah, pretty much. Now you can see Nijaki still fighting Reginald in the mid lane. Only 200 gold the lead right now for Curse, and that's, again, with the 1 dragon to their advantage. So, Solo Mid almost catching crumbs. They went down the lane. Looks like they do have this, I believe it was 17:02.
It was 17:02, so it's 30 seconds. So you can see they're already setting up for it. And I think it's going to be down to whether Reginald and Nijaki can pressure each other. You can see that Nijaki's trying to catch out Reginald. Meanwhile, let's have a look down the bottom. We can see the Odd One clearing out the wards in the river. Meanwhile, they're pushing on the pace down on the bottom lane. They will force Special. Will he manage to get away? No crescendo, but the Cogmore ulti managing to finish him off. Now that, I'm not too sure that's the right decision. The Odd One diving in there. Half's gone towards Elements. We'll try and pick off this excellent support. It's not going to happen. Kerix is going to back away, and surely to God that will give the dragon to Curse, and Curse has started off so well in this game.
Yeah. And you're right, they're up 2-1 now. They have potentially map control over this dragon. I think they're going to push KX to his turret if they can. But it looks like actually they're not really interested in going for it now. You see Mundo just going back to clear minions. And I think they're afraid of Reginald at this point, because he's got full health and enough AP and Sorcerer shoes that he can basically burst down this Nunu or this Dr. Mundo in a team fight. And so they don't want to push for dragon right now.
So you can see the red ward going down there. Be interested to see. I think Maokai will spot that one. He has got a ward, so he'll probably look at that before he goes into that bush. Maokai with the Oracle, so we're seeing whether Shyvana will go looking for it. I don't think he will, and you can see the Odd One is actually going to completely avoid it. Blue buff just being given across to Morgana there, or it will be in a second. He's just covering him off. Actually,
I think it's got about a minute to go on the respawn. Gragas should be up first. That's one way to time it, is Gragas' blue buff is going to be up before Morgana's will. TSM just in general cleared that out just earlier at the very first time, and they've been doing a better job of kind of keeping up with it and always being there right at the respawn. So you can use that to time it if you want.
I'm just keeping my eye on Mundo as he walks about his path, completely trying to clear all the river wards he can find, and going across all the obvious spots, although missing just the one there. So Dragon is up now. And neither of them really in a position to go for it. And, you know, I was kind of surprised that Kurz didn't go for it when they had the chance.
Oh, I think they're going for it now, actually. They're pulling Shyvana down across the map. She's starting to run down, and yep, you can see the rest of the team converging. Now, they know as well. I think they did that to time it off of the Golem spawn. I think they timed Sullivan's Golem and said, we're going to Dragon right as you go for this. And looks like this is going to work for them. Not even pushed all the way across, but pops the ult. Goes for Reginald. He's going to flash across the wall as well. Be stunned, but that's going to be fine. They pick up the Dragon for free. 24-50 going to be the respawn there. And that was a really sweet move there by Curse, saying, hey, we know you're going to be occupied in this thing. Let's go just burst it down. They pulled Shyvana down. Didn't need to, but looks like the Rain Man came down as well as a countermeasure. And now Shyvana's going to go back for that farm. And actually pull the blue up for Nijak. You can see they pinged that, and Shyvana's going to start that one up.
Yeah, so very good coordination actually from these teams, especially for Curse at the moment, considering they're using, like that, say, that stand-in is doing a fantastic job. Blue buff being given across to Nujaki. So Rayman returns to top, Shyvana returns to top, which is going to be Fote, the stand-in player, if you're unaware. And Sidko did miss his plane, so he will be here tomorrow, I'm told.
Okay.
Or maybe even later today, but he was not going to be making it for the qualifiers. And he's just got to hope that his team managed to get through without him. As it is, they're looking very good against Team Solo Mid.
Yeah, and this is one of the favorites for the group as well as Team Solo Mid. They've been looking really good. Just in general, they've had they had a second place answer here at IEM Kiev just a few months ago. You basically got a big who's who in this Group B. Anyone could really show up here. Solo Mid, just based on recent land results, are one of the best teams here.
Absolutely, and no question about that, really. But we saw Dignitas yesterday, and actually KX mentioned in his interview earlier on, he's like saying, well, they appear to be the real deal on this land. They've certainly shown up and performed very well. But this bottom lane is becoming a problem, I feel now. You can see they're both 170 for CS, so this is just like Dignitas yesterday against AAA, a slow, steady farming session. But it's going to surely fall in the favour of Curse. Like you say, that Cogmore is just getting beastly down the bottom here.
He dropped Sona to half right there, Special. Not in the happiest of places right now. Doesn't have both gold pretends, whereas this Nunu actually does. So they're kind of accelerating ahead right now, Curse.
Yeah, and they've both got the BF swords out there. You can see the builds slowly forming. Shirelia's Reverie has been picked up by Maokai, though, so that's a pretty early on. Needlessly Dodge Rod was picked up very early by Morgana. Has now completed the Zhonya's Hourglass. Infinity Edge now completed by Cogmore. So actually Morgana chose to go for keeping the level 1 boots and actually go for that Zhonya's Hourglass very early on.
Yeah, I've seen this actually more and more frequently from these top, specifically the mage players, that they'll actually rush for the first major item there. And in this case, it's Zhonya's to get that Morgana ult and be safe while doing it. Whereas Reginald actually rushed for the Sorcerer Shoes, went for the early damage output, wanted to be able to hurt people throughout the mid game and move across the map and gank as well. He didn't manage to get anything out of it, unfortunately, so we'll see if that actually ends up hurting him, if they can start a team fight before he finishes death cap, and the Zhonya's ends up being a big deal.
So just following the junglers, don't forget they both got their oracles and they're really making them pay. They've been clearing wards non-stop for the last few minutes. Shyvana is going back to, we'll see what he's going to purchase. Let's have a look back down towards Cogmore. He's going to be ripping towards his tower here, and actually they're not too far away. He's going to get a big chunk of damage into this tower. This could be the first one of the game, maybe going down. Sivir is going to come out, but that is being ripped apart because that Infinity Edge is causing them problems.
Yeah, that's going to be a pretty big deal for them. You're going to see Sivir trying to last it at the turret, but it's down very, very low. Cogmore almost went up to go for the damage there. And you're going to see he's going to start on this minion wave very, very early. And it looks like KX wanted a recall, so they might get to pressure this just because KX doesn't really feel like he's up to par in items.
Yeah, and he's obviously got enough to go back and buy that Infinity Edge, but it's not going to matter. There is the first tower of the game, and he's going to continue to harass KX. And you can see it is really hurting them, so KX is going to have problems early on. Meanwhile, at the top, you can see that Rayman actually having a good go at Shyvana. Shyvana might be forced to use the ulti to try and get away from this one. Burn up just about coming up and then backing away there. Rayman will pick up the creep wave back towards the middle. You can see the junglers having a little poke. We will get caught out. Yeah, he's got back to had to use a flash up there, though, so it's not too bad.
Shirelia's too.
Now the pressure on that middle turret, and surely this one's going to drop as well. So Curse doing a really good job at cleaning things up.
This is the kind of thing that Solo Mid is known for doing really, really well, which is building up of an advantage where you feel like you want to kind of press for some fights and then get all these outer turrets down. But the one caveat to that is Solo Mid did a great job of giving red buff to Aurelia, this Maokai, not needing it anymore, calls Rayman over, gives the red buff to Aurelia, and then she can start winning that top lane against Shyvana. Now Reginald going to get caught out a little bit here, gets down a little bit low. He's got to be a bit careful here. And he's going to go in for Nijaki, but oh my gosh, the damage output massive, and there's a Zhonya's as well, blocks the ultimate comp, now getting jumped up by the Rain Man. Rain Man going to flash out of the door right there. Nunu full channel, but seems to not get much there. Gargus was dead, Morgana has dropped as well, and it's 1-1 right now, and KX looks really strong right there, and he did a lot of damage to Cop and to everyone else. There was Dr. Mundo, now down below half health, just runs the rest of the way out, and they basically just traded mages right there. Everyone else popped flashes and ults and whatnot, and they kind of stabilized for now, but
yeah, but for a 4v5, it actually didn't go too bad, and I thought Cop's positioning in that was very, very good. Managed to get himself away with it, especially with Aurelia dashing in there. The that's going to be a problem for him. Aurelia has actually been left to feed and has got quite strong against Shyvana now. You can see he's actually probably going to win out in a 1v1 straight up fight. So Shyvana really isn't that up for that now because he had that CS advantage early on. It is still 11 and up, but yeah, 50 CS is a pretty huge thing when it comes down to it. Let's have a look down towards the bottom. That will be the bottom turret going down. Kirk with that Infinity Edge completed as well. Now I'm going to go for a little bit of lifesteal. Probably see that Phantom Dancer slowly come out between the two. You can see Zeal now completed by Cogmore as well. So it is starting to definitely become the later stages. That top tower is very low though, so that will be the possibly all three towers from TSM very low, and he's actually gone in, he's managed to get straight in, tanked it up, and Aurelia's going to have to let him get away. Aurelia's got no mana left, can't deal with him, so that is the second turret of the game, and it is Curse that have taken it down. You can see that middle tower is not going to last much longer.
Yeah, it's down to only a couple of hundred health left. It's at exactly 678. About a quarter actually, and yeah, Curse again, they're doing a good job clearing wards. They have the oracles sweeping from Dr. Mundo. They could push in pretty soon here. They've got blue buffs on both sides. Reginald does finally have his Rabbiton's death cap. That is a pretty big deal here, but the blue has respawned for Curse as well, so they could jump into this and grab that and use that to push mid.
Yeah, so they're going to have the times up. Dragon, I believe, has respawned.
Yep.
If I'm not mistaken, so I'm guessing that's going to be the next fight. You can see everyone's sort of starting to huddle on the map, getting ready for this one. Blue buff will be quickly taken. Will they take advantage? They've realised that they've managed to go across for blue, and I think it looks like TSM are going to try and sneak this one out. Will it be quick enough, though?
By them.
I'm not too sure it's going to be quick enough. And remember, Curse, I have Cop who can fire from a long range with that ulti, which is what he's trying to do, but it's going to be desperation moves. Will he manage to land the steal? No, he will not. So TSM pick up their first dragon of the game. And an all-important one, because the gold was starting to actually stream a little towards Curse there.
Yeah, I mean, it still is in their favor. They're up 1,500, but I mean, that would have been 2,500 or 3,500 if that dragon went the other way, and that actually would start to be a really significant advantage at that point. About 1.5 going to be the next dragon spawn, and you're going to see them push forward. Oh, a nice black shield there keeps Cop from getting pushed down too hard by Reginald. But the one thing is he grabbed the blue elixir, and with the blue buff as well, his ultimate's only got like a 40-second cooldown or so, and he's able to spam that out and do a lot of good things there. You can see 39.6. The current cooldown on explosive cask is actually already hit level 16 that way, and that's going to be all kinds of painful for Curse Gaming.
Yeah, so they're just clearing out the Baron pit there, making them think about it. They realise that Nijaki is down to half health, so they want to try and push the advantage here and maybe force them into any sort of fight. They're looking to try and get that advantage. They barely feel like got it. They've gone for Mundo. Mundo got that Oracle on as well. Has popped his ulti. Not too sure if Rayman's got the damage to deal with it. Meanwhile, the Morgana's managed to get in the middle of it, uses Zhonya's Hourglass, manages to survive, but he will go down in the middle, and Pito is trying his best to get away. And Shyvana will be going to run away from that one. They're actually running through the flames, so he's doing damage to him as they run. Will manage to catch on there. That was a good knockback there from the odd one, and that will be a kill. The Reginald very, very low though. Will just about get away. Mundo was looking to maybe pick up a cheeky kill at the end. Have they got enough? Do they feel they can pull that Baron out? I don't think they do. I think they're too lower health.
Yeah, Gargan's going to go back to the top, going to get probably a turret for it, actually. I mean, they'll take a 2-0 champion, or 2-0 team fight. That's just fine for them. They've got a giant minion wave. Actually, they're not going to pressure too heavily. I think maybe they're trying to bait someone to farm that minion wave. And, oh my gosh, you can see everyone right on the outskirts there. Mundo could have run in there and taken a lot of damage.
Okay, it's just going to get caught out by Cop there, and that would be very nicely done while he was teleporting pretty openly, and Cop was like, I'm not letting you do that. I'm just going to catch you with the ulti from long range. That will be the middle tower going down as well. Cop is starting to really spittle out very quickly. Probably going to get the Phantom Dancer as well from a follow-up from that one, so very nicely played.
Oh, wow, that was all kinds of great. Just to lose a kill like that, though, is just really, really silly from solo mid. Kax actually had his summoner heal up right then, so he was really, really watching. You know, probably could have had a chance to get away from that. But, you know, good job by Curse. Pick up that kill, bring it back to 4-4. You see the goal just 2,000 different right now, and that can go all kinds of interesting places.
So let's have a quick look through the builds. You can see they're all starting to get towards endgame builds. Zhonya's Hourglass and Rod of Age is now completed by Nijaki, so going to be very strong there. Very tanky Mundo as well. Spirit Visage along with that Aegis, and building up with those Ninja Tabi as well. There you go. Phantom Dancer now has been completed as well by Cogmore. Kind of thought that one out. So he's just slightly ahead of the build at the moment as Siva. Obviously picking up those kills early on, 3-0 as well. That's an ulti from Gragas there. Went towards, I think it was Cop they were trying to pick out, but look at the lifesteal from Cop there. Just 3 shots and he was back to full health.
Yeah. One thing to watch watch out for him, though, is he didn't actually get magic resist glyphs. He went for attack speed there just to maximize his damage output, but that means that Reginald, with his rune page plus the sorcerer shoes, means he's pretty much doing true damage, which all of his abilities against that Cogmon. It's going to be a really scary place for him. Now, he does have an Aegis on the team that is Crumbs, Dr. Mundo holding that. He'll give him 15 magic resist, but outside of that, he's pretty much taking true damage from Reginald, and Reginald's really, really farm. He's got about 240 minions, he's got a death cap, about 300 and something ability power on him. It's a scary place to be. 436, I should say, rather.
So this is going to be one of those poke back and forward fights. Crumbs trying to get in, take that ward down, but Gragas barrel just pin planted there. They don't want to take any damage at all. The odd one's trying to sneak in. It's a simple ward fight, but it's a 5v5 ward fight going on right now. Yep. You can see Crumbs sees that ward go down. It's like they just want to take the vision away from the opposition, and he will do. He's going to eat a barrel for his purpose, though. The odd one, meanwhile, is doing his best. And you know what? They've collected a lot of gold from these wards.
That's true.
The barrels, though, just keeping them in range, and they're actually doing a very good job. But yeah, guiding them out there. They're going to go for it, surely. The turret will go down. The Sivir ulti has gone off. The exhaust went on towards Sivir. Crescendo going across. Najaki popping his ulti and managing to get the Zhonya's in the middle. Sub-Zero going out there. It will catch the odd one down, Crook. It was Cop that managed to pick up the kill, and TSM in all manner of trouble now. Chaos just being ripped apart. X Special surely will be the next target. Yeah, exhaust goes straight down. He will go down as well, and that went so well for Curse. Will they switch up to Baron? Will they go straight through the middle? They have the choice of their own, really. They actually fancy a bit of a go at Rayman here. He's backing away. Just see the damage that Curse Cop's managing to put out there. Really is a problem. We saw it early on. He wasn't harassed. He was allowed to just build it up. That will be the middle tower going without fail.
Yeah, the plan here is to look at the Death Climbers and get as many turrets as possible before running back for Baron. Oh my gosh, they might catch out Reginald. It's going to be close. He can land those ults. He's going to have to flash out. Now, right now, they could turn for Baron and they'd get it in time, especially because Reginald's so low now. But they're actually going to just split up and take buffs. And they have to be careful that TSM doesn't do a comeback Baron. This is entirely possible right now. Hijack, might want to turn around and land the Dark Binding. He will go for it. Doesn't do enough damage, though, which means they might get caught out. Yeah, they're going to let Crumbs pick up the blue. They don't want to get caught and killed there. Clairvoyance was used. You can see Rayman leading the charge. They're running towards Baron, and Curse might have overstayed their welcome a little bit too long, especially with that chase onto Reginald. You can see Rayman still standing near Baron. The rest of that team, you can see running down his left-hand side. They do want this, and it's going to be up to Curse to hold them off in time if Solomid chooses to risk it.
Yeah, and remember that whole fight was all about controlling the wards, so there's no wards there at all. That's what they were poking away for. But you know what? Curse have managed to get themselves back in time for this one.
And Cop finally has himself some magic resist. He's 5-0 and finally picked up a Quicksilver Sash. So 101 magic resist when he's nearby his teammate there with the Aegis. So now he's not going to get ripped apart by Gragas quite so easily, though it might be a Void Staff the next pickup, which would kind of put you back at square one at that point. But yeah, Cop's in a really good place. He's been picking up all the kills for his team. And I got to hand it to Nightjackie as well. Every time he's gone in and popped the ult, he has literally every time juked Sona's ultimate with Zhonya's Hourglass. Literally every time Sona's like, Crescendo, nope! And then he's just fine. So that's pretty good for him. He's had some bad initiates too. He had one where he lost all his ult tethers and then Zhonya's and just kind of died afterwards. But ultimately, he's initiating really well for his team, and they're following up.
Well, Chaos is getting caught out there. He's going to eat a bit of damage. Not the ideal one. They didn't feel actually went for it there. I don't think Zhonya's Hourglass is available. It might be actually. I think it is up for him. Yes, it is. So expect to see Nijaki launching himself in there shortly. Next time he catches someone out, he's just waiting for Mundo and Shyvana to come back. Shyvana's now bought and very tanky as well. We haven't seen Shyvana really managing to get that ulti straight across him, doing that crazy damage that sometimes we see. This is a bad position for TSM here. I feel they've actually tried to dive, and it's on Crumbs. That was the worst one to go for. Then to flash through, and TSM are immediately in the ascendancy. You can see that they had to pop Shirelius to try and back away from that one and just slowly walk away. Interestingly enough, actually, Curse haven't got a Shirelius rubbery.
It's true. They really don't have any good way of chasing. They've got a little bit of movement speed with the Mundo ult and with Shyvana's burnout. They've got the Nunu blood boil, but it's a little tenuous. I mean, yeah, technically they can haste almost the entire team that way, but I don't really think of that as real team mobility there when you've got a Sivir ultimate and 2 Shirelias on your team. Solo mid, they're only 3,000 gold behind. They're not far enough behind that they're really automatically going to lose any team fights. The late game is scary with a Fed Kog'Maw for sure, but I mean, these team fights can go well for Solo mid, no problem. And the one advantage they have is a whole heck of a lot of mobility. They can all move very great distances.
Yeah, Mundo leading the charge. He's not too bothered what he's going to catch. He's literally going where he pleases. And at the moment, TSM are having problems here in the first game against Curse. Curse using that substitute player seems to be doing well for them at the moment. Nijaki hiding up in the bush, and they're going to push this tower, and I'm not too sure TSM are going to be able to do a great deal about this. They've only got 3 here, 3 on 5. They've got to be careful they don't get caught. Chaos literally just stepping forward before that minion managed to eat it, and look how quick that Cogmore is just ripping through that tower. Krakats tries to get the ulti barrel, wasn't quite enough. He actually went on Shyvana as well, probably the least tankiest target they could have gone for, and well, Comp is just picking them away.
Curse's poke is really good right now. They've got a lot of poke champions here. They managed to get out of the way of that Gragas barrel. If that had actually hit Shyvana, that would have sucked pretty hard.
Look at Chaox's damage.
Chaox taking a lot of hits there. He's actually taking these dark bindings, which makes no sense because there's nothing to fight for him. He just took damage for free, and you can't do that in this stage of the game. They might go back in here. Cop, his W, no, he's going for the turret right now. You're going to see a lot of damage come off here, and Silvermid will back off this turret, and this is without Baron. This is just saying, hey, we're just stronger than you as a team. We're going to bully you around, and they're doing it successfully right now. And they can keep this up, I think, for another little while. They might get the ward control, and they might bait Baron. Now, the downside here is Xpecial does have Clairvoyance up, so they can't bait this very easily. But they always have the chance of sort of camping in a brush, using the Oracle, sweeping everything out, and then turning it around.
Yeah, and the flip side is Curse don't actually have Clairvoyance at all. They, you know, if they back off, they've got no vision at the moment on that ward that I can see. It is actually a TSM ward that's on there, so that if they back away from this one, which I don't think they're going to have to keep someone around it. They don't feel they have the ability to go, but Nijaki's been catching them dark bindings from sneaky positions, and it's been Chaos that's actually been walking into them. He is going to try and go around. The ping goes down, and he'll quickly get back. Nijaki, you're going to get caught out here. Mundo isn't too worried about that. And
a little bit less so, yeah.
Once again, I've just been amazed by Cop's position in every fight. He's really been doing a very good job.
Yeah, he's been doing a good job of staying alive. Absolutely the case. Nijaki's been just permanently hitting black shields onto him. Cop playing a little bit up right there. That's a little bit scary for me. If Agua could get like a flash W and Nijaki sneezed at the right time, they could have gotten a free kill out of that one. I mean, it's just a scary place to be in, you know. And there comes Threshold, and there is the ult. Doesn't manage to hit almost anyone though, and so Curse did a great job. Nijaki black shielded himself, walked forward. You know, Foe just got himself out through, and he was all right there.
And you know what? Mundo was just sat in that bush behind them. Oh, they're going for it. He's going in towards the Rayman. The Rayman's the target for some reason. They managed to get the slow on him. The exhaust goes down as well. Nijaki's ulti will pop off, and the Rayman's going to get picked off quite easily there. Wow. Very quick, and you can see the Shirelia's Reverie and the Sivir ulti was burned out there to try and escape from that one. They were so fearful of it, and it was all about Mundo just catching out, but their dark bindings managed to get on them. Now Curse have got just a full-on push. Oh, Chaos going to get caught out. Chaos will not survive that. Surely Mundo's going to tank the turret. You can see Shyvana leaping towards him. Will manage to get a kill down, and Cop once again 7-0-1 now. Cop absolutely dominating. Meanwhile, Shyvana's causing them all sorts of problems. Maokai ulti going off, but it doesn't matter. It's going to be the first base tower and inhibitor going down, and Curse are looking very strong here, Freak.
Yeah, that was an excellent job. They've done a really good job of catching people out. The one on Aurelia was phenomenal. It was Dr. Mundo off in the wings, ults to catch up to Aurelia, lands one cleaver, and they're like, go. And they land exhaust, ice blast from Nunu. They got it. The Morgana just went up to ult, like one person, just one dude, and caught it out there, and that was all it took.
And that's the CV used from TSM. They've just used it on the Baron. They expected immediately pass back. Oh, I can see Reginald's trying to catch out Mundo here. I'm not too sure it's the right thing to be chasing. Has forced Mundo to use his ulti though there. So they know that's down. And you can see TSM immediately pushing back on towards Baron here. They haven't got any wards. They managed to sneak one in the back there. And Curse already ready for that one. But you know what? And if it comes to a team fight, I think Curse is so much stronger now.
Yeah, absolutely. They're getting farther and farther ahead. That 6,000 gold is the lead, but the one thing to remember is most of that gold is on to Kog'Maw. If you want to switch over to the specific gold income, the Kog'Maw is at almost 14,000 gold for his team. You compare that to Chaos. Chaos is not even at 11,000 yet. And that's a 30% lead on your AD carry. 3,000 gold worth of items on your AD carry is a lot of items. It's a full Phantom Dancer and more.
Yeah, and he's just completed that last Whisper as well, so he's going to be looking very strong indeed.
Yeah, and, he's real happy.
And they can just rip through the Baron now. I mean, the Baron's probably, the hit points have probably gone up quite high. It's 12,000. That won't take very long at all. He's probably hitting for around about 700 or 800 by now. You can see just the critical hits going through, and they are just ripping through it. I'm not too sure if Xpecial is going to be able to want to get involved in this one. The Odd One's doing his best. Will the Odd One dive free? He does go in. He managed to steal it with a spike there. So TSM, can they turn it around though? That is the question. They will dive on towards Photo here. Chaos is just about surviving, hanging on in there. A quick little heal, and X Special flashes away as well. And TSM managed to ninja it, pick up a kill, and back out. The Rainman did go down in amongst that, but it doesn't matter because they got the steal on the Baron. Very nicely played. Let's have a quick look towards Maokai. He's getting chased out by Mundo. Mundo will manage to catch him down. He catches the slow, and all the rest of the team are going to close in around him. The odd one will go down from this one. He's not going to escape it.
They should get the
Cursor
kill,
just collapsing around him, but what a fantastic steal.
Actually, I'm making some nice moves. He's slowed down Crumbs a couple of times, then he used the twisted advance to get over to a minion to keep running away. Now Cursor going to use his time to push for a turret, but it's a little bit unsafe for them because it's a 3v3 against Baron buff. It is not the easiest place to be in. Crumbs still chasing down the odd one. I mean, he is getting lower, but I mean, I don't know. I mean, odd one's still running away.
Slowly but surely, now he's going to turn on towards him. I don't think he's going to quite have enough to actually do the damage. He's just knocking him back, has got caught by the slow, but like you say, it's actually delayed the attack, and he's still still just trying to bait him around. The Benny Hill theme is required right now because he's just running around. Oh, finally got out. Would you believe it? It's Cop that comes back and steals the kill.
The gold. All right, so 2 for 1 ultimately. TSM losing out on 2 kills for 1, but with a Baron steal, worth it. Pretty
Jesus,
sure.
die already.
I was looking for a worth it. I think you should have said that one in all chat. I'll say it for him at least.
11-5. Wow, what a game so far. And we've had some pretty good games. First game of the day again here. And Curse going against all odds with a reserve are actually really stepping it and taking it to TSM. TSM are up against it. They did manage to steal the Baron. That's going to keep them in that game for that short while. The inhibitor here will respawn shortly, but I'm not too sure whether that's going to be enough. I mean, they're going to really be up against it. They have to get onto Cogmore early.
Yeah, they have to try to get to him as much as they can. The problem is he's got enough magic resist now to survive most of Gragas' burst, and he's getting black shielded every single fight. He's also getting a ton of movement speed between the new Blood Boil and his own Phantom Dancer. It is hard for him to catch up to that guy. And he just hits for such great range. You can see him chunk Rain Man down a little bit there. And there comes, okay, there we go. The black shield goes off, and they're going to jump onto this fight. Nijaki not in a great place right now. The ult does go on, but doesn't hit a lot of damage. The new ult does go off well, and Rainman's getting crushed right now. Does fall down. The Sona ult goes on. Now the off one is up in front, but he's surviving a lot of damage with his ult on. Nope, they get that one too. 2 dead, and still the team is above half health. Curse managed to just survive everything, and I'm surprised Chaos could not just burn through anything there.
Couldn't do any damage at all, and well, the Rayman went in. He's like, I'm going. And Gragas did his dash and ulti barrel, but just couldn't knock them back, and that will be the tower going down. The inhibitor will follow. The second inhibitors are probably about to respawn, but doesn't matter because Curse are just ripping them apart, even though they're going against a Baron team.
Yeah, and that's, jeez, yeah, and they're just going to be happy right now. They've gotten another inhibitor out. The first one should be respawning very soon, though. They might have to be afraid of that one. But the Team Solo mid, you know, they still have Baron of those 3 champions, so you never know. They could be okay for a while. They are going to get free farm from the inhib deaths, though. And again, it's only a 6,000 gold deficit. Yeah, the deficit is growing steadily over time. Curse are just consistently outplaying Solo mid a little bit at a time. But still, they can get that one big comeback, that one great Gragas ultimate, and the entire game can turn around. Yeah,
it is only a 6k gold difference. It's only a couple of kills. We have seen some big turnarounds already in this tournament. I'm thinking against Fnatic versus Dignitas. Dignitas really were not happy with that game at all. They said, like, we so through that game. We were 15 kills ahead, 8k gold difference, and it did turn around. So it is entirely possible. Let's not forget that. And TSM are certainly a very strong team. But as it is at the moment, a 10-0-2 Cogmore is looking like a deadly beast. So 3 minutes up and Baron will be ready to go. So that's probably where the next fight's going to be. So Cursor is just going to try and push every lane as much as possible, harass and train down this inner turret. I don't think TSM are going to fight for this one. Although I can say that, I can see Reginald strolling on down here, but they will not be able to manage to fight anything at all. They're going to have to back away in towards their base. And yeah, the ping goes down on that open inhibitor and really would be the right thing to go for.
Yeah, that is probably the right play for them. Absolutely, they can use that to either right. Actually, no, they're completely pushing back on them. They might turn for Dragon. They might get their own red onto Cogmo, which actually would make a lot of sense. No, they're going back for it now. I guess they just wanted the minions to come with them.
Yeah.
Crumb's taking a bit of pain there. Should be a little bit careful. Oof, Cop took some damage there. He didn't want to do that.
Yeah, and he should point out that Crumbs has not even died yet. He's had that Oracle from the start. There goes the inhibitor, taken down without a fight. And there was not a lot TSM could do about that. They're completely aware that they're in a little bit of trouble, although Siva is now up to about the same build. So, well, I say the same build. I can see a Bloodthirster now actually been completed by Cop as well. So Cop is really at the ultimate build that you want for a Cogmore, which you don't actually normally get to see in a tournament match.
Except for elixirs. He's not gotten any elixirs yet, but other than that, he's pretty much maxed out on items, and he's going to be a scared guy. And actually, he's going to go for the last inhibitor. They're not going to go for a dragon or red buff. They're going to keep their poke advantage, and they're going to push this way. And they really do just have great pokes. There's a Cyril, and TSM looks like they're going to go for it. The Shrelis is on, and they're going to jump right in. Nijak getting a good ultimate there. He's going to take a lot of damage, though. They've stunned special, but they're not going to keep the chase on. Cobb going for as much damage as possible. Flashes out of range. Nijak going to fall. The Rayman in front. Going for the damage on a Cop. He's going to just die right away. Special drops as well. Rest are going to fall. Now it's down to looking like a 2v2 right now. And Cop is bleeding up right now. The Alma going for the duel. Might do enough damage. He's going to be close. No, the lifesteal keeps him alive. Oh, Sapling almost got him. No. But Cop with the lifesteal. Elements keeping him alive. Being a good friend.
Oh, wow.
They just barely took that one over.
A quadra kill, I believe it was. I didn't quite catch whether it was a penta or not, but Cop just going very big there. Life stealing his way through with that Bloodthirster, and that is surely going to be GG for Curse Gaming in the first match. Wow, would you believe I said that already? TSM coming into this one, hot favourites for the group, but it is going to be Curse with their reserve. They've never met him before other than today. He does barely speak English, he's a German player, but wow, there he is on your screen. What a first match.
That was excellent. Cop going 14-0 that game. First pick Kog'Maw, like, guys, oh, they didn't ban Kog'Maw. They didn't ban Kog'Maw. Oh, you done screwed up TSM, and man, did they just dominate that game. Cop, Elements, and Elements, of course, had a perfect score as well. So they're the only two members of the game to not die. Cop and Elements. Elements actually, by the way, stole the pentakill. Elements. Scumbag Elements stole the pentakill. He was 0-0 and 12. Cop got a quadra.